Hey, hi, hello. It's your host, Zack Lyman. And once again, you're watching or listening to the Zack Lyman Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today is another solo episode. I'm happy to do another one, a little just kind of life catch up, talk about goals, talk about what's happening lately. And I got to start off by saying thank you. Thank you so much for all the new subscribers, everyone reaching out, loving the episodes of the podcast. Absolutely. And thank you to all the guests that have been on, because we've had some incredible guests that I've got to know, and some of them have become good friends since their episodes. And I don't know. I've been doing this podcast for a while, and I always forget about the connections that can be made and how much I grow from doing the show. And so I'm like super thankful lately of just how things are going with the podcast. Right now it's July, but all of June I basically took off from stand up, really, besides like the few shows that I had booked way in advance, but really just wanted to focus on being creative and enjoy life and drink coffee and yap with friends. That's what I wanted to do in June, and just kind of spend some time just being me. And that's kind of like my writing process now with comedy, is just being around people, having a good time. And of course, that time either is the story I'm talking about on stage, or it reminds me of something that happened in the past, and now I talk about that on stage. So just, it's really important for me to kind of always take a moment and just be a human and try to be creative and enjoy building relationships. And now I'm in Seattle, so I'm like enjoying the beautiful city of Seattle and just trying to get to know the city and be around the city. So good. And then in June, Lou Moon came up to visit. We planned that a few months ago, and I was stoked knowing that in the middle of June, Lou's gonna come up, and I had him do a show here. We talk about it on his episode of the podcast. It's always great to have him on the show, but it was just great to have him here at the house for like a week. And we went and did touristy stuff, and Lou and I are huge Anthony Bourdain fans. So we're like, where'd Anthony go in Seattle? Where can we spend time? What foods can we eat? What can we take in on this city? And it was great because he made me think outside the box of what I've been eating here and drinking here. And then it was cool to see him like enjoy some of my favorite spots that my girlfriend and I have been finding here. But yeah, it was good. It was a good hang. He did his show. It was on a Wednesday night. He got in on like a Tuesday night, and man, he killed it. He killed it. It was so fun, and it's great to see him do an hour. It's been a while since last time I saw him do an hour is when he recorded his CD. So it's been a little bit, and I was stoked to hang out with my friend and catch up with him and enjoy the town. And he did so good. So I loved having him here, and I love doing shows with Lou. And we've done a lot across the country, but it was great to see him headline. And I hosted. I did like 15 minutes, no, like 10 minutes of material, something like that, 8 to 10. And just fun, just loose, just kind of introducing just a couple jokes I wanted to do. And it was great. And then, yeah, we kind of went around. We went to Pike Place. Took a water taxi. Yeah, just awesome. And that's what I wanted to do with June. I wanted to spend time with people and see my friends. And then also, I recorded my special, and then I wanted to take a little bit of a break to kind of think of new jokes and reevaluate some jokes and just relax for a minute. But I also had some other things on my plate that I had to finish. Like I had to finish a documentary that I started like 2 years ago, I think, something like that. So finished recording everything for that documentary, got all that together. So now it's in the editing process, and that's nice to just kind of have that off my plate, because I feel like I start these projects and then they just kind of float in my head throughout the week, and I go, I got to finish that thing. I got to finish that project. It weighs on me a little bit, and I'm not always like, I don't want to start anything new until I finish these projects, because I know myself, if I keep starting new stuff, I'm never going to finish anything. So I always try to tell myself, like, hey, finish these, get them off your plate, and then you can move on to new things. And so that documentary was one of them. And then now we're in July. 4th of July was great. Spent it with some family, just had a good fire in a backyard, just chilling. Loved it. Loved a relaxing weekend. And then we started another documentary that my girlfriend and I have been wanting to work on about coffee. And so we just started filming that documentary. And I'm excited to have that almost fully finished. I think like in the next few weeks we'll finish that up filming wise, and then I'll be in the editing process. But it's great to just kind of like these other things besides stand up that I've been wanting to do, just getting them off my plate and getting them finished, and then just being creative with these other things like the growing the podcast has been top of mind a lot lately, and then these documentaries, and that's like my 2025 goals was to knock those out, and I'm stoked to now pretty soon very soon. I keep saying every day, I go, you know what, today's gonna be the day that I start editing my special. I'll start editing today, and I tell my friends, oh, I'm gonna start this weekend, I'll start editing this weekend, and then I don't start editing it. But I'm gonna start soon. I'm going to start editing my special, and that's going to take up a lot of my time. That's going to be what I work on in my free time, is that special. So that's, I have a few other things. I feel like I'm in that stage now where it's like, when you don't, like, you're avoiding something, so you're like, I'll do the dishes first. I'll do the dishes, and then I'll get to that creative project. I'm going to vacuum the entire house, and then I'll get to that career. Because like today I told myself, I'm like, I'm going to clean off my hard drive, make a lot of space ready to start editing the special. Like, just start it, Zach. Just start doing it. Like, have a rough edit together by now, So that's, I don't know, it's something that's top of mind for me. I wrote down notes if you're wondering what I'm looking at. Yeah, I've been thinking about too, it's really cool to post the clips of the podcast and see the reaction people get from just little nuggets of the podcast. But then, like, I get friends or people just messaging me on Instagram about, like, the full episode and, like, their thoughts or, watching it in general. And it's interesting to me interviewing these guests and like learning their life or how they do something. Like, something that I was thinking about is, like, we have Rain's episode just came out, and in that episode she really kind of like unlocked a part of my writing brain that was like different, where like her approach to writing a first draft versus like how I write stuff. And I'm now applying that to like joke writing or any other type of writing projects I have going on, where you write the first draft and then you throw it away and then you write another first draft. Because for me, I put up these guardrails and I force myself to stay in these areas or write it a certain way based on the first rough draft that I don't always need to do. And I do that with jokes. I do that with scripts. And so I really liked hearing that. I really, really liked learning that moment. And that happens all the time when the podcast, where it's like these nuggets in the conversation. And I'm just, again, so thankful that that's all coming together. But I just kind of wanted to do, this doesn't have to be a very long episode, it doesn't really have to be too much time. I just wanted to catch up with you guys and kind of tell you what I've been going through now that I've kind of taken a break from the road and just been working on all the other projects. And I'm feeling happy and healthy and really trying to stay in the moment and enjoy not being on the road, because, soon I'll be back out on the road, and I love doing that. I love traveling, and I love performing and staying in hotels and meeting all the new people I get to meet. But I think there's a lot of peace that I can find being at home and things that I can work on. So then next time I'm out on the road, things are a little bit easier, like growing the podcast is one thing, and just having something like tasks to do. I talked about this a lot with my friends, where it's just like in comedy, it's so hard sometimes to see growth or going forward, like you're like taking steps forward in comedy, because there's no roadmap. You're just kind of making it up. And so I use tasks and projects to make it feel like I'm going somewhere with this. And so having the podcast to do and kind of work on almost every day in some sort of way, or either booking people or, filming something. But, having that makes it feel like not so stressful to be home, versus like when I'm on the road, I'm just thinking about the next gigs often. I'm like, okay, finishing this thing and having a good time. And then, I get home on Monday and I go, great, where do I got to go this week? And kind of start planning out a little bit more of like how my week's going to go. And so it keeps you busy, and it keeps your mind occupied. And, when I stay home too much and not on the road, I worry about staying busy. And so having these projects and finishing projects has been super helpful. The other thing that I've been doing is going to some open mics in general. I went and watched like an open mic or two and just kind of like hung out. And that was nice to just be out. And then I also, have performed a couple times at open mics, just like, hey, here's some really, really rough ideas. Let's see where they land. And yeah, because I've been writing so much with all this free time of just like joke idea. But I haven't like fine-tuned it or really like written out the joke. Just a lot of concepts right now. So I'm just stoked that when I do hit the road again, it's like, yeah, here's 15, 20, 30 minutes of new stuff to work out. So yeah, I've been enjoying it. And July is also going to kind of I don't have too much booked. And then in August, I'm right back to it. I'm right back to hitting the road. And then August until, I don't know, New Year's. So, but yeah, I hope you're all doing well, and I hope everything is going. I hope you had a great 4th of July, and I hope you've been really spending some good quality time with family and friends and people that you love. But I appreciate everyone that's been checking in and checking out the podcast and subscribing. So thank you for that. And if you've made it this far, I'd love if you could share it with a friend. That's really what that's all it is. It's word of mouth growth. So, but I've been your host, Zack Lyman. This has been the Zack Lyman Podcast, and outro music.